In our gospel today, Peter says to Jesus, "We have given up everything and followed you." But Jesus says, "Amen, I say to you, there is no one who has given up house or brothers or sisters or mother or father or children or lands for my sake and for the sake of the gospel, who will not receive 100 times more in this present age." Today is actually Father Michael's ordination anniversary. It's a great reminder as we head into the season of ordinations, including this Saturday, where Deacon Kyle will become Father Kyle, and we'll have Ben Valentine, who will become Deacon Ben Valentine, who will be with us for the summer. And there's lots of different ordinations going on at this time of the year. We might think about this very passage, the dramaticness of, I guess, is that even a word? Drama? The dramatic nature of people laying down their lives for the sake of the gospel through priesthood or diaconate. And I find it interesting that I get asked to share my vocation story, because I'd much rather hear the stories of other people's journey of faith, of how they came to be where they are. And the story of our faith or giving up family or friends is not just limited to priests or people who wear this collar, but all of us as people of faith have had to give up something in order to follow Christ. We've all had to deny something in order to take up our cross and follow Him. Each of our stories can bear witness to God's at work in our life. And we see that very beautifully in the saint we celebrate today, Saint Bede, Venerable Bede, as he's also known, who was a monk who joined the monastery by age 7. His parents sent him there for his education, and he stayed there. He essentially moved from that monastery to one other monastery in his life in England. That's about the extent of where he went. But he dedicated himself to study and prayer. And he's known because he wrote a story of the history of Christianity, or Catholicism, in England in around the year 700. Now, it's kind of crazy for us to think about that by the early 700s, he could write a multi-century story about the history of Catholicism in England. But what he did was, rather than just saying this happened and then this happened and this happened, he took the approach of St. Luke in writing the Acts of the Apostles and saying, this is how God came to the island, and this is how God united these diverse tribes. And he used it as a narrative to show what God was doing, what God was about. I think these readings invite us to think about God moving in our own lives, in our own journeys. Sometimes it might seem like God is absent from the story. But I encourage you to think about how God is present in your story of faith. Maybe just take yesterday as an example. If you can remember back that far, what you had for breakfast that day, think through yesterday. And where was God at work? What were the different moments that came about yesterday, and how was God present in them? And maybe what was one lesson that God was inviting you to learn yesterday? That can help us to know what God is asking of us or inviting us to think about today. How He continues to write our story, His story of grace in our lives.